Welcome back, shareholders, Cyios shareholders. Matthew, thank you for emceeing today. We have got a special guest with us, Eric from ONEof. I've known Eric for quite some time. We were working on a project together for NFT and real estate. He's a really interesting guy in the space of what we're doing with crypto, NFTs, and the like, and works for an amazing company called ONEof, which we have signed an agreement with. But let me hand over. Eric, tell us about your background, tell us about ONEof, and then we can maybe go into the Slam Girl and so forth from there.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for the brief introduction. Eric Mendelson. I call myself a recovering music executive because I came from the music industry, or come from the music industry, pretty much since freshman year in college, all the way through I guess half of my professional life. I guess 8 years ago, I decided to go down the technology in the technology space and use my skill set from the music industry in the technology space, and have found my way into the blockchain space probably around 2015. And what I realized in 2015, when I started to really understand blockchain technology, smart contracts, I looked at how can blockchain solve pain points globally for the world. And then more granularly, I looked at how can blockchain technology solve issues or make things more efficient in the music space, which is obviously where I come from and what I'm most familiar with. And then really went down that blockchain rabbit hole over the course of 2 weeks and decided that this was a career path, or kind of really a lifestyle choice that I wanted to go down and follow. And here I am now. As you mentioned, I'm the director of blockchain business development for ONEof. ONEof is one of the premier top NFT marketplaces in the world. We're at the intersection of music, sports, lifestyle brands, and now with our partnership, we're going down the comic route, introducing Slam Girl to the masses via this amazing Web3 technology that I've fallen in love with and embraced myself in over the last 6 or 7 years.
And can you tell us, with the Slam Girl characters, you've seen the journey, with Will Mineo, and how we've actually been able to develop it. Tell us what your thoughts are about the Slam Girl character and how that's going to forge a path forward in the market, and how you think that will be perceived.
Yeah, well, let me take a larger scale look at it. ONEof started off specifically in the music vertical. Half of our team, including myself, come from the music industry. One of our largest investors, or one of our most prominent investors, is Quincy Jones, who's arguably one of the greatest music producers in history. Obviously, Michael Jackson and
Yeah.
dozens of others. Half of our team is located in LA, who does most of our music deals. So that's kind of the vertical that we went down. And then the natural progression from music is into sports. So then we went down the sports vertical, handling iconic IPs from the likes of Muhammad Ali estate to Wayne Gretzky. We've kind of been known in the space, both on the music side, with the Whitney Houston NFT drop that we did, to the sports drop that we did with Muhammad Ali, that we're really responsible when it comes to these really legacy athletes, artists, and brands in the space, that we're going to do right by them, because we're always about creators first.
Yeah.
Looking at the NFT space as a whole, though, the top 30 trading collections, or the top 30 IPs that are traded in the NFT market, are original IP, meaning they weren't really known before. So they're not necessarily celebrity driven at all. When you and your partner David brought us this amazing collection of Slam Girl, our company wasn't even thinking about going down the comic vertical. I saw it as an opportunity to bring, for the first time, this potential Web3 original IP to the masses, where it starts off in the Web3 space and then eventually transgresses into a movie space, where the big screen. And so for me, the big vision for what we're creating together is that this IP starts off in Web3, utilizing this extremely progressive technology, and then makes itself back into like the legacy of big screen movies.
Yeah. And what about other things, like other attributes that we've been able to add to the Slam Girl drop, gaming, so forth? There's going to be the shops and merchandise. Tell us about that so people can get a feel for that, how that all blends in and makes for a long lasting product instead of just a one-off here you go, buy the NFT and go off into the sunset.
Yeah, and John, as you know, I've done some of the biggest. I've behind some of the biggest music strategy as it relates to NFT drops in the music space, and unfortunately, what I see a lot of is the musicians come in, they potentially get an upfront check or an advance out of a company, not just ONEof, just in general. I'm just talking in general here,
Yeah,
and they release an NFT into the market, into a customer base, and then they're here today, gone tomorrow. What I like to be involved in, what ONEof likes to be involved in, is that projects that think of themselves as their own standalone siloed brand, and they're looking to get into the Web3 space and grow their brand in this space. So when I take a look at something like Slam Girl, you guys came to us with these assets already built out with like a really robust thought process and roadmap of where you wanted to see your IP go into. So we're just kind of acting as a conduit and as a collaboration partner along with, as it relates to strategy, and then also the technical integrations of where it would take this IP to get to.
yeah,
But as I've told our community already, and as I'll tell your community, I'm really excited that we don't have to create these assets from scratch. That they come from Will Mineo, who in and of himself is a legend himself in the comic space. So it comes from a really credible space, a really creative, artistic space that we as a company don't have to touch. We don't have to get involved in the creative process. All we do is we take a look at what's already been created and figure out how to best market it to our community, and then of course how to grow the community with our eBay partnership.
yeah, yeah. Fantastic, fantastic. And so it's got a long life, hasn't it? So we're not just selling it once. We can, obviously do multiple drops. There's multiple characters that we can build things around. We can, really expand this. So it has a longevity, almost like an annuity income stream to the model as well.
Yeah, so again, these projects, the word utility is a very overused buzzword in the NFT space. Like to me, a utility is something that has like real value. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. Whereas a
Yeah,
perk is something that a user or a customer gets just one time. And I think what we're focused on with this collection is generating and creating real utility for the project, and it's not going to happen overnight. So you mentioned
yeah,
things like gaming. I mentioned obviously even past gaming to movies. So
yeah,
can these NFTs that you're buying be actually used in a game? That's real utility. My son is upstairs right now playing Fortnite, and I spend a lot
yeah.
of money. Like hundreds of dollars a week on digital goods, which have no value, and it doesn't even make his gameplay better. I say to
Right.
myself,
Just
I say
skins and so forth. Yeah,
skins and things that like it doesn't make. I say, Tristan, why are you spending daddy's money on this? By the way, I shut my credit card off, but he goes, well, my friends have this, so I want to have it, or I want to be cooler than my friends who have it. So to me, it's like it's his digital personality that really has no value, but to him it means something. The way that when I
yeah.
was younger, sneakers or clothing is how I in school. Nowadays, that's not like nowadays. All these kids are in the same uniform, so their bragging rights are when they go home and play video games. And
That's right.
I think that Slam World, Web3s, and NFTs lend itself to that, and can even transcend that,
Yeah,
and go past that into potentially play to earn games in the Web3 space.
yeah, yeah. Matthew, you've been nicely quiet sitting there. Do you have any questions from the shareholders' point of view that you'd like to ask?
Well, I think that the important thing to remember with the shareholders is a lot of us have not really played in the NFT space, and for us, for some of us, this is going to be the first project. I was watching, and a bunch of the guys today said, "Oh, I just bought my first NFT." Well, it's the free one that went out today.
Right.
So maybe I don't know if there's sort of a way that you can give a little bit of comfort to these guys that talk about what are some of the projects that ONEof has done in the past. Is that something you could share? And I mean, I know you've got several sold out, so
Oh yeah,
maybe you can talk about that.
yeah, sure, absolutely. I mean, so we were behind Doja Cat. We're behind Whitney Houston. We sold one of her NFTs for $1 million, or close to $1 million to a buyer in an auction. We're behind, as I mentioned, we have a deal with Sports Illustrated. So we've put some of the most iconic Sports Illustrated magazine covers on the blockchain, like those of Muhammad Ali and Wayne Gretzky. Let me take a step back for those that may not be familiar with like what blockchain is doing in this space. Basically, what blockchain does is it's a transactional record that's forever put on the blockchain in an immutable form where the provenance and ownership of that digital asset can be tracked. And you can actually see where the ownership changes transparently on a public ledger, which is on distributed ledger technology, which is called the blockchain. So I myself, and this is very comparable to NFTs, I am a hoarder and a collector of everything sports related. I have a garage full of sports cards and comic books and toys and everything. Don't do it anymore. I'm too old, but I have a whole garage full of it. And I don't know. Michael Jordan rookie card is one of the most coveted cards in collecting. I don't own that card, but I don't know how many of those cards actually exist in the world because they're just printed on cardboard. Now, I can trust that the manufacturer of that card tells me how much are out there, but I don't even think they know. Maybe they know how many they printed. Maybe they lied. Who knows? There's no way to track it. So for the first time in history, we can actually create something that's scarce in the digital space by utilizing
a certificate of authenticity.
Essentially, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic.
And I could see how much someone paid for it before me. So I can also see how the market is valuing it and how many hands did it change? How much liquidity is out there? How many people want to buy it? So I don't want to go down the blockchain rabbit hole too much, but you did touch on something which you were in one of our social spaces earlier today, and someone was saying this. Oh, this is one of the first times I'm getting an NFT. One of the value propositions and our product differentiators at ONEof is that we believe, well, I believe, but we are, in my opinion, the easiest NFT marketplace in the world to buy your first NFT because we allow our customers to utilize payments that they're used to, specifically credit cards and PayPal. Whereas other marketplaces, it's crypto to crypto. You have to own Ethereum. You have to own some other alternative token to purchase the NFT. On ONEof, it's as simple as using a credit card. It's the easiest process to set up. It's the easiest process to make payments. This is why legacy companies like American Express, who invested into our recent round and are also a strategic partner. They're not just an investor. We're now handling NFTs for American Express and rolling out some really cool stuff with them. This is why companies like American Express and eBay are looking to us to take their Web 2 legacy play or their Web 2 strategy into this Web 3 space because they don't want to go fully in. They don't want to go fully in because their customers are still, Amex is one of the most storied financial companies in the world. eBay is one or two of the top physical marketplaces on the planet. They don't want to completely jump all in, but they want to getting their feet and dipping their toes in.
If you can, just tell us a little bit about what's going on at Comic-Con. I think it's the 6th through the 9th. Tell us what we've got.
Yeah, so October 6th through the 9th is New York's Comic-Con. What I learned is that Comic-Con is actually owned by different production. Like I think different people put on Comic-Con all over the world. There's a LA Comic-Con, there's a San Diego Comic-Con. So we're involved with the New York Comic-Con, again, the 6th through the 9th. Comic-Con was shut down, I believe, for the last couple of years because of COVID. So they're expecting tens of thousands of people to attend in New York City. We're flying in Will Mineo and Cheryl Rhodes, who have brought us the Slam Girl collection in conjunction with Cyios and Immortals group. On the 5th, the morning of the 5th, we'll be doing a press that was set up by the ONEof PR team. We'll be signing a bunch of posters that are exclusive for purchasers and for visitors who come to our booth at Comic-Con, and Will and Cheryl will then attend Comic-Con with us. And on the 7th, which is Friday, I believe the time is 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock. I got to get the time confirmed. Will and Cheryl will be signing autographs of the poster, which is being sold in conjunction with the digital NFT. So in this space, it's actually called a phygital, where you buy the physical piece and you get the digital component, or where you buy the digital piece and you get the physical component. These are going to be exclusive NFTs and exclusive merchandise that are only for sale to people that visit our booth at Comic-Con on Friday, October 7th. And we're really looking forward to rolling out some PR, the marketing, and the sale of this whole collection.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Wow, that's great. Well, thanks again. I really appreciate it. John and Eric, you guys have been great. Been just really stepping up to get the information out there for us. And hopefully we'll talk to you again here in maybe a few days or a couple of weeks and regroup
maybe
after Comic-Con.
We can see how we go after Comic-Con. We can maybe do an update.
Yeah, you got it.
That sounds great.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thanks,
right.
Eric.
Take care, John.
Speak to you, man.
Okay.
Good to see you.
All right.